difficulties. Sorry for the late start. That is all on me. Do not put that on my co-host. That's 100% on Mr. CK himself. But let's try it again. I am here accompanied by my co-hosts of here on Coast to Coast. Bars, kind of, but I got my man Wars World, B Ward.
Yes,
What's
sir.
up? They can hear you.
What
now.
up, what up, what up, what up?
There he is. And none other than Mr. Coda, the dreamer, with the setup.
What's going on?
There he is. Okay.
Yeah.
Man, we had some technical difficulties, but we back. We here. It's gonna be a shorter show
Good morning.
today. What'd you say?
I said good morning.
Yeah. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be a shorter show today, but it is definitely. I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say about this because I know if I say it, I'm gonna sound biased because of two of the players and where they play for, but they just so happen to be the ones in the media complaining about all the nonsense. If you guys can see by the thumbnail, I'm talking about none other than Trae Young and James Harden. And then other than that, we're going to quickly talk about this crazy start to the NBA season and how some teams who might be overachieving, who we know were not that good last year, and if they're for real or not. You know the rule me and B War have. I think Nick might agree with our rule, but we have a rule that the first 20 games, you know, it don't matter until game number 21. You know, you see the true colors of these teams until game 21. But some of these teams are overachieving that were lottery teams last year. We can see which are the real deal and which aren't. But yeah, man. Before we get into all that, you know I'm not. This is not me trying to be funny and trying to be mean. Okay, but if this show was going on about 2 seasons ago, our standings would be very backwards because my Knicks are 5-1, number 1 in the East, and the Clippers are what 1-4. Lakers are what 2-3, 3-3.
3-3, but I like that Clipper rating right now.
I'm not too happy.
I dig it.
But Nick, you start, man. Like, how you feeling, man? Clippers off to a slow start. We knew it was gonna be different because it's just Paul George in the gang, no Kawhi Leonard. We thought that Paul George would be enough. I mean, it's still early. I'm not saying that y'all gonna be bums, but slow start. How you feeling about it?
They suck.
Look, man. I've done this Clippers not doing good thing for several years. This is not news for me. This is not new for me.
Yeah.
So if we boo-boo the rest of the season, I got no problem with that either. I can wait. We are, like I said, our robot Kawhi is still in the shop right now, getting fixed up. And
Releasing
whenever he
albums.
decides to come back, releasing albums in the booth with Lil Uzi and whatnot. Whenever he decides to get right and get back, then hey, he can do that. But I'm happy with Paul George. I'm happy with Terrence Mann. They're doing their thing. We're just losing. So I mean, hey, it's fine. I'm cool with it for now.
Okay. So okay, all right. And
I like the Clipper way. I'm happy with losing. That's what I heard. That's essentially what I just heard right now. Did you not hear it? Like, chat, let me know if y'all heard something different because I just heard.
Hell no.
Well, Brandon, I knew how you were feeling about your team, and that feeling was you didn't have one yet because you are you're a slow cooker when it comes to your Lakers every single year because people get overhyped about certain things, and we know that this year was definitely a year of overhypedness because you guys got basically the 2010 All-Star team as your team, but we're living in 2021, so it's been a bit of a slow start. Russell Westbrook having some of his normal problems. I mean, shooting, turnovers, those aren't normal problems for Russell Westbrook. But at the same time, then you're also getting a bit of the triple-double goodness from Russell. So you're basically getting the complete Russell Westbrook package. So how you feeling about your Lakers so far? And don't you say a damn bad thing about Carmelo Anthony because he's been carrying you on the last 2 games.
No, Carmelo. Like I said, the man's got braids, so I'm digging this Carmelo Anthony. It's like. This is. I wish New York got this version of Carmelo Anthony. That's all I'm gonna say.
We got this version and some. You better chill. I was saying that we haven't seen this version of Melo since New York. It's because of the Braves. That's the only reason why you're talking salty. But continue.
No, my team's all right, man. They made me drink every time we won so far. Right. They made me drink more every time we've lost. So I'm still up in the air. Russ is definitely a challenge. I don't know how we're going to solve him, especially in a 6-game frame or 20 games. I don't know how we're going to solve him in 81 games. I don't know how we're going to solve him in playoffs. So, LeBron, AD, figure it out, please, because this man is killing me with these 20 turnovers game, man. Like as a former college athlete, seeing all these turnovers, especially I was a point guard. I would be sitting on the bench for the entire season with some of these turnovers, man. So it's frustrating, but hopefully we can figure it out.
Yeah. All right. Well, I just wanted to get that. We're gonna talk a little bit more about some other teams that are surprising. Oh, what's that? How the Knicks do it, man? 5-1, bro. Beating playoff teams. Edgar Allan Fro. I love you, bro, but I know you're gonna say 15-1. You're right. But in my mind, it's 1-0. That's all I see it as. The Bulls are undefeated. Y'all team, that's y'all team. But I mean, after that win against Utah last night, they're making y'all look a lot better. But your Bulls, I'm looking at you, Coda the Dreamer, putting my Knicks in 7th, saying that the Bulls are a better team. Okay, all right. Well, took care of them Bulls. But no, I'm feeling good so far. But we're going to talk about it in a little bit. I'm not completely on the train that we're going to be obviously the first seed in the East, but it's enjoyable. I'm enjoying the ride right now. My man RJ had the game of his career last night. Good times to be a Knicks fan right now. It's nice to be 5-1 and not 1-5, hoping to get back to 500 by Thanksgiving. It's nice. It's really nice.
Top of the East, man. Congratulations, though.
For now. Look, my PTSD still goes off, so it's hard for me to say it without worrying I'm gonna jinx it. So I ain't gonna say nothing else after that. But yeah, so that's our fun little roundup. Let me know in the chat. I know I see Edgar in the chat. I know I see other Knicks fans in the chat with me. But let me know how you're feeling about your team so far. If you're feeling nothing but pain, if you're feeling happiness, whatever the case may be, let us know how you're feeling in the chat. But let's get into what the thumbnail and the title say, and that is the new rule. It's actually a mixed bag. I feel like a lot of us fans, we are enjoying this new rule a lot. The new rule being less defensive fouls on shooters. They're giving the defense the benefit of the doubt for the most part, unless you're in the shooter's landing space and stuff like that. So the flopping that we saw Trae Young do so much, James Harden do for years, it's pretty much obsolete. And we're seeing it across the league from even players that are not named James Harden or Trae Young. And they're feeling types of way. Some people are trying to say that that's the reason why Damian Lillard's not having a great start to his season. I disagree. But James Harden, though, we're going to talk about him first because he feels like he's being singled out. He feels like that this rule, they might as well name it the James Harden rule. We had this instance the other night. I know you guys see the highlight a little late, but it's basically James Harden trying to draw a foul, but couldn't do it. I mean, you've seen it 1,000 times. If you've seen it once, you've seen it 1,000 times. But it was against the Miami Heat just yesterday. I mean, mind you, he did get to the free. Oh no, sorry. Who did they play? They didn't play the Heat yesterday. They played the Pacers, and he went to the free throw line. It was the game before that where they played the Heat, and he was trying to buy every kind of foul he could get. And this one particularly, they tried to challenge. It wasn't called because he obviously initiated the call. But before I get to... let me just get it all out of the way because I want to give you guys thoughts on that. So that's play number one, leading to James Harden saying that they're singling him out. They said that, James Harden is the reason why this rules changed. Or he's saying that's the way it is. But then Trae Young... we have a clip here I want you guys to hear. Trae Young, he thinks that it's not just a James Harden call. It's not just a James Harden rule. It's for people like him and Damian Lillard. Because you think that we just want to average this many stats? You think that that's just normal? No, it's because he knew fouls that they're not calling. And blah, 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 blah. Basically, Trae Young's complaining and crying. But I'm going to play the clip right now for you guys. Hold on. And yeah, you guys, I'm sorry. I'm going to figure out a way where you guys can hear it. But for right now, you guys gonna just have to watch after the fact. But here's Trae Young.
It's fine.
It's super low, and I hate that about this stupid clip.
Copyright stuff, man.
It'll be alright.
Right?
It'll be alright.
No?
It's just a clip. It was a social media clip. We'll be alright. Y'all can't even hear it. Trae Young, speak up, bro. You're supposed to be a villain. We can't even hear what you're saying. Basically, he's just there complaining and crying that the NBA is gonna have to do something about it. Because with them going free throw less, their stats go down, the game doesn't look as fun, blah, 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 just whining and complaining. Twitter tore him up. We even had I agreed with Kyle Kuzma for the first time in his entire career. Kyle Kuzma's a fan of the rule. He says it makes the defense look. You get to focus and you get to see how hard a lot more teams are playing defense, and that he likes the rule. And you're seeing teams play differently. I agree with Kyle Kuzma, but before we get into that, just talking about the rule itself, do you think that it is the sole reason why James Harden has had his slow start, or do you think that James Harden is just using it as a scapegoat? And James Harden and Trae Young. I'll put Trae Young in the mix too. Go ahead, Nick. You take it away, bro.
Look, man.
Uh-oh.
Just off that one clip you just showed alone, that should never be a foul. That should never ever be a foul. This man was blatantly looking 100%. To create the contact himself. He was past him.
Mm-hmm.
Bam's an athletic dude, but you're still James Harden. You should be able to get to the cup past him. This man put his arm around to go underneath and get the foul. No, I'm cool. I'm cool on this 100%. I'm glad. I love the rule. I think it's amazing. I think it's great. And Trae Young saying that it makes the game look less fun. I didn't realize the fun part of basketball was watching 50 free throws a game. Right. I didn't realize that was the fun part. And if it was, maybe I don't like this sport. Maybe it's not for me. If that's the case, because there's no universe where that could be. Them making these changes should be considered not fun. So James Harden using it as a scapegoat, I don't know if it's a scapegoat just because he's literally molded his entire game around that, and he can get buckets without drawing the fouls also, but it was a huge part of his game was him being able to create contact and go in and get the fouls and everything. So it's going to be a problem for him. He's obviously going to adapt to it. He's, I'd say, a top 5 scorer ever. So he's gonna figure it out, and I think he'll be fine. I just feel like it's a rule change, and he maybe didn't get the memo or didn't open his emails or something like that, and he didn't see that was going on, and then now he's starting to figure it out. So he'll be fine. Same way he exploited the rule before to get the fouls, he'll find another way to exploit the game.
Figure out another rule.
Exactly, and get 50 points a game again like he was before. Trae Young, I don't know what to say about that. Damian Lillard, I think Dame's just having a slow start in general. Dame got a lot of fouls, but I never saw him as someone that was going out to seek contact and seek getting fouls like that. I never really switched that with Dame. Trae Young, F that, because he was doing that stupid little. He was twerking on dudes in the paint and whatnot. I'm cool on that one. I'm glad that's over with. I'm glad that's over with now. I'm cool on that one. Trae Young would get around a dude and start throwing some ass on him. He's gonna start throwing some ass and chuck the ball in the air and act like the dude did something wrong. No, I'm cool on that one. Forget all that. So I have no issue. I love the rule, and it's more fun. We're getting more possessions, more stuff like that. It's a good time. We ain't gotta watch Trace, aka Meg the Stallion, shooting 50 free throws a game, bro. I'm good on that one. So I'm glad.
That's funny.
Whoa. I like the rule change. I love it.
Working.
This man goes in the paint. He'll get past the dude on the screen. Then he just start twerking and they get a foul. Like, I don't know what to do either. I'm good on that one, bro.
That was good. That was solid. No, these it threw me off, man.
They get a foul.
Yeah, see, Rick Harrison said, "Hey, yo, Coda, twerking, tweaking. He tweaking, my man."
That's what's going on.
I mean, I don't see the lie.
That's what I'm saying.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong at all.
Oh man. I do appreciate these new rule changes. There was one clip in particular where I do think it was a foul. Playing defense with your hands, like our boy Brandon Lillard, our good friend Brandon Lillard. Yeah. That's all he plays defense, and every time he plays against anybody, they're calling fouls on him. So, I think there are situations where there are going to be fouls where it's blatant, and because of this new rule change, there are not going to be any fouls. But stuff that Chris Paul used to do. Chris Paul used to be notorious for the twerking foul that used to go on. James Harden, bringing the ball down to the ground and ripping through up in the air. Like,
yeah,
all that stuff. I get it, and it worked for a time frame, but I do like how the game is being called nowadays. So hopefully it stays. My hunch says no, it will not stay.
Yeah.
And it slowly but surely will revert back because NBA likes to sell. So we'll see. And not to mention, got to give some context too. James Harden hasn't had his whole entire offseason was based on rehabbing. Right. His hamstring is still kind of iffy for him. So you got to remember that. Damian Lillard, he's trying to fit into a new coaching system. So right now, I think his only best game was against the Clippers. So
fair.
Gotta remember that. And Trae Young, I think he's gonna be affected the most. Mind you, he's only one point less per game now.
Yeah.
But his team has gotten better around him. So does it really affect him? Sure, but his whole team is still going to be better. So he's still going to have a lot of success regardless. So
yeah. No, I agree with that. What's up, Mo? I see you. Oh, it's Messi Boy. What's up? Yeah, no, I agree with both of those points because that's what I was going to say. At least for Trae Young, I think he will figure it out, but he's going to have to complain along the way. James Harden, I was never worried about. I mean, and to be real, James Harden, it took him a while before he finally said something. Now, I respected him for that. I knew he was going to eventually say something. But initially, when he was getting the calls, you see him complain during the games, but he didn't really necessarily have he didn't make a big deal of it up until lately because he felt like he should have more than 5 free throws after 4 games. But to Nick's point, to Coach's point, he's gonna find out another way, as we saw in that game against Indiana. He still ended up getting to the line 14 times because the problem is the thing is he just knows I'm not going to get these off of a shot. Now I got to go force the issue when I go to the rim. And I think that James Harden, we forget that is a big part of his game. He has a tremendous layup package and he's really good at finishing around the rim as well. So he's going to figure out a way to get to the free throw line. That's what his game is. He's just going to, when it comes to those threes and those twerking threes that Nick was talking about, we might not see those. We might not see those as often. But James Harden is going to be James Harden. He's one of the best scorers in the history of this league for a reason, so I ain't worried about him. Trae Young, it's going to take him some time because that was a part of his stick, was using his height to get some of the, or using his lack of height, to force his way to the free throw line for a lot of those things. So we'll see how he figures it out. But luckily that team is well rounded and they're pretty deep. They're doing okay without it. But I'm not really worried about Trae Young either. I'm not really worried about any of them. And before, when the season started, I was with you, B. I was thinking that the NBA mid-season was going to fold on this, and then you'd see the referees start to revert back and call these calls again because, it's just not good for the league, and too many players are going to complain, so they were just going to, slowly bring it back. But seeing how well it's worked, seeing how much more exciting these games are without the flopping and stuff like that, I think it's been making for a lot better TV. Yeah, some, 2-3 of our superstars in the league are not having tremendous games because of that. But also, if you look at it, their field goal percentages don't have a lot to do with them getting the free throw line regardless. You know what I mean? You still got to shoot better. You can't put all that on free throws. And, this comes from someone who complains about referees and Knicks a lot. But referees been cool with Knicks so far this season, so I ain't got no beef with y'all. But I think that it stands. I think that they stand their ground this season with it because I feel like it's been resulting in some really entertaining games throughout the first 2 weeks of the season. The defenses are being rewarded, which is all I've been asking for because I feel like a lot of teams have been picking up their defense since I want to say about 2 years ago, and now we get to see that through this. We're getting to see a lot more things that. We were growing up. We were accustomed not being called fouls, they're letting them play through them. We're seeing that a lot more frequently this year. So I think the NBA stands their ground. And again, I wouldn't be surprised if they did go the route that you said, B, and they revert. But I think that because of how entertaining it's been the first 2 weeks of the season, I think they stick with it. So I hope that's the case, but we'll see. But I ain't worried about these guys. Let them complain. They gonna complain and cry. This ain't gonna be the last time. You're gonna hear about it again soon. I'm just waiting who the next player is gonna be. Yeah, but I just want to know who the next player is gonna be that's gonna say something because somebody else is gonna be upset about it because they have nothing else to blame. But we'll see. I ain't too worried about it. You think it's gonna be LeBron? Paul George? Y'all guys, damn. Y'all, and you know what's funny? In the back of my mind, my thought was Julius Randle. So all three of us, look at us. We all guilty, bro. I just didn't say it out loud, but I'm like, Julius, he gonna complain about something. Yeah, we'll see. But let me look at the chat real quick because we did get a shout out to you guys for coming over to the new channel. We appreciate you guys. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for the channel. If you listen to the audio only version, make your way over to the Coast to Coast channel on YouTube and subscribe. And you can see these live with our wonderful faces. And trust me, as the weeks go on of the show, the quality and everything will be a lot better. I'm still figuring it out. We're still putting a new thing together. Just give us some time. But yeah, man, subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notification button. You know the vibes. MH, call
like and
Code
share.
The Clipper. Like and share. You heard him. Code of the Clipper. Ain't no falseness with that. Well, I'm trying to. I thought I saw something. Edgar Allan Fro saying, "I'm feeling nothing about my team. We're just here." The thing's called "We here." His is "We're just here."
Tough pity, man. What to tell you? I told you about Ben Simmons a long time ago.
Right.
I tried to tell you, man. You were trying to convince me. Shame on you.
He really did. I gotta get. Edgar Allan Fro was really trying to convince us that it's all gonna get worked out in this, that, and the third, and we'll be over. I don't know, man. And we're still waiting to see him play his first game, but we'll see. Anyways,
mentally not there.
Right. We'll get to that another time. Also, one more thing before we move on to the standings, which kind of goes into the standings. You got called out by Mr. Dale. We haven't seen Dale in a little bit. B. War, he's calling you out. I don't know if you saw. Did you see the response? You saw what he asked you?
I saw talking about my Heat.
Well, I have to read it. He said, I have a bone to pick with Mr. Brandon Ward. He said, yo, Brandon, is the Heat making the playoffs? Because no one questioned your Eastern Conference standings on that.
Which I was quite surprised that nobody did say.
They did not know about it.
I'm sure there was a couple. I'm sure there was, but no, I to be fully honest, and I told this to Chris right after the stream. I totally forgot about them.
That's exactly what he said. Word for what he said.
I pulled a Charles Barkley. I forgot they were a team in the East, and I live with it. I have 3 changes this season, so you know what? This might not even matter anymore. You bringing up old news, so we moving on. This should show episode number 3. That's how I'm looking at this.
He said, "Keep up."
Yeah,
you on old stuff. Leave me alone. You on old stuff. But we're gonna get into the standings in the NBA right now and how things are very topsy-turvy in the league, as it typically is at this time of the year. We know that this is how it goes. We've seen the Orlando Magic start season after season after season, like 4-0, 5-0, and people thinking that this is the year they're gonna make a change, and then they end the season with 30 wins, 20-some wins. It happens every year. This year is not one of those years because they're 1-6, but you know the point. What I'm trying to say. But we're gonna start with the Eastern. Yeah, let's start with the Eastern Conference because I think it's a little bit more of a shakeup over on the Eastern Conference. And let me blow that up so you guys can see it. We got the New York Knicks in first, the Washington Wizards in second, Chicago Bulls in third, Miami Heat in fourth, Charlotte Hornets in fifth, 76ers in sixth, Raptors in 7, and the Milwaukee Bucks at 8, with the Brooklyn Nets at 9. Now again, only 6 games in the season. We got the Knicks, the Wizards, the Bulls, and the Heat as the teams that only lost 1 game to start off the season. Now we know the Bulls' schedule; it was really, really weak. But the Knicks,
last couple games,
yeah, the Knicks, the Heat, they had probably the stronger schedules of those that are talking right now. But you got to give the Wizards some love. 5-1. I don't care who they play. They could have played the Magic those all 6 times in a row. For the Wizards to put together that kind of a record right now, that's pretty impressive. But looking at those standings right now, Coda, how you feeling? You feel like that this is just a right now thing? Do you think that any of this is lasting? What's your thoughts on the Eastern Conference so far?
All right, I think the Bulls is lasting for sure. Just watching them play. I'm about to say because just watching them play this whole time, and I've seen all their games, and it makes me feel it even more than I did before. These teams look like a bunch of kids just out messing around, but it's working. Like it's just fun. Lonzo's playing in a way that I have not seen in 5 years now, 6 years now. But he's just comfortable, just having the time of his life, hooping. Caruso's going crazy. Got that dude, Javonte Green, I think is his name, on the bench. Guys, man, works hard. That's literally it. Like they have pieces, and Zach he's a superstar now. I feel like people need to start just saying that. It is what it is. I'm using the S word. Zach LaVine is a superstar now. I don't care what anybody has to say. Zach LaVine is a superstar now. Right. Things could change in the coming weeks, but as of right now, for this season, Zach's a superstar.
I didn't know
right now this season
can be judged by week basis.
But right now this season, Zach's a superstar.
Right now, as of second week in the NBA season, he's superstar.
As of the 5-1 Bulls, Zach's a superstar.
Supermax right now.
The Knicks are hooping. I don't have anything to say. I don't know. I don't think the 1 seed's gonna last personally, but hey, we never know. Things could change. The one I'm shaky on is, the 76ers. That ain't gonna last. But the Hornets, that's the one I'm a little shaky on, just because me and Chris have said it before. Me and CK have said it before that we see the Hornets as like an AAU team. That's how they play. Like they play like a travel bowl team. Like it's just a lot of like running and gunning and just doing stuff. And that's what you do. What's going to happen when you have a point guard like Melo Ball that's just constantly on go. Mm-hmm. I love the fact that they're 4-2 because I like them. I just really want to see if it lasts. That's my only thing. I just really want to see if it lasts. And the Bucks and the Nets that's not going to last. They're not going to be in the 8 and the 10 seed in 2 weeks' time.
For sure. Yeah. For sure. Yeah. Brandon, as I mentioned at the top, you and me have our 20-game rule. We are 6 games into those 20, still very early into the contest. We just showed a bunch of teams in the East that are I didn't talk about the Cavaliers, but the Cavaliers are playing. They're pretty solid right now. I think they're 4-3 or they're 3-4 or 3-3, one of the two, but they're doing well for what they got. Do you agree or disagree with what Coda was saying as far as like the Bulls, any of those teams in the Eastern Conference that are up top the East right now that probably won't be there after these first 20 games?
I like what I do like what the Cavs are bringing. I like Mobley. They got a weird lineup going on. But I think
huge.
They got 3 7-footers.
Yep,
huge
starting. Yep.
Mobley just happens to be versatile enough to be able to play it for now. I still don't understand why they got Lauri Markkanen, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I don't.
Wizards for sure. Ain't no way in hell. That team is no. I'm sorry, not a number 3.
But a playoff team?
No, dude. I don't foresee it. You got Kyle Kuzma. I'm sorry. That's all. That's all. You got Kyle Kuzma.
I was with you till you made it personal.
No, I made it very personal.
But you know the stick. Like, you know how it goes. You leave the Lakers, you flourish. Is this Kyle Kuzma's time? And you know this is coming from a Kyle Kuzma hater. But look, man, that dude is getting boards, and his shot is actually going in at a nice rate. Because we saw how bad it was in the preseason. But once the regular season began, he out there hooping right now. You don't think that lasts?
I'm not a believer. I never will.
You know I'm not a believer in Kuzma either. I'm a believer in the once we leave the Lakers, we graduate kind of thing. 'Cause I'm a product of one of them right now.
I was just about to say.
So I gotta be a believer in it. But okay, all right, for sure.
The Wizards for sure. My other team that I was looking at right now, the Hawks too. Obviously,
they're low.
Yeah, they're 3-3 right now at the number 9 seed. But once again, Trae Young is. What's crazy is he said what he said, but like I said, he's only averaging 1 less point than he did last year, and his team I feel like is gotten better around him. Yeah. So whatever it is,
shout out to my man Cam Reddish. Go ahead,
Cam Reddish is hooping, man.
Yep.
Hopefully he can sustain this because isn't it contract year for him? Or is that next year?
Next year, yeah. He's in the same draft class as Zion and Archer.
That's right.
So they got another year. Yeah.
So. I mean, hopefully he can sustain that. But for sure, the Wizards. Yeah, on my notes, I have the Wizards for sure.
Get them out of there.
I think it doesn't need to be said about the Bucks,
right? Or the Nets.
Or the Nets. Yeah, I'm not too worried about them, but for sure Atlanta.
Okay. Yeah, when I look at the standings in the Eastern Conference, you know, you know what, I've been saying it about the Bulls. I'm not a believer in the Bulls. That game last night was the one for me that made me turn my head a little bit like, oh, because they didn't only just beat the Jazz, they held their own against the Jazz. And the Utah Jazz have been playing really well this year. I mean, up until that game, they were undefeated, and the Bulls gave them their first loss. And they have the next 11 games, if I'm not mistaken, are against playoff teams. Like, they're playing, the Lakers are coming up. They got all these playoff squads, and it started with the Knicks. The Knicks were the first one, and the next, so they're 1-1 of games against playoff caliber teams, because, you know, they started off playing the Detroit, Cleveland. Like, they didn't really play anybody to start off the season, and they handled business like they're supposed to. So I give them credit for that, because they did what they're supposed to do in those games, going 4-0. The Knicks couldn't even do that. We lost to the Magic in our second game. We should be 6-0 right now, but we couldn't handle business. So gotta give Bulls credit for that. And to, you know, go 1-1, you know, couldn't beat the Knicks, but you were able to beat the Jazz, which was one of the top teams in the West, which is difficult. I gotta give them credit for that. So when I say the Bulls, I'm not saying in the sense where I don't think they'll last. I'm saying in a sense where I'm starting to feel that I might be wrong, but I don't feel like I'm going to be wrong. I still feel like the Bulls are going to be a 6, 7 seed. I don't think they're going to stay up top there, but I'm sorry, there's a little flicker of the light that you and that B and Code have been showing, and even some of the chat. I know BOT in the chat was saying the same thing, and some other people were saying that the Bulls are going to be for real this year. I'm not quite there yet, but I see it.
They lost. They took a big hit with Williams. Patrick Williams going out for the rest of the season.
Yeah. I still don't understand what he thought he was going to do with that play. And I love how Bulls fans are trying to turn that on Mitchell Robinson, which I don't understand. But that's a rough hit, because now they're already, like I said, the main reason why I have a problem with them is that their matchups, or they have a matchup problem against some of these teams. It worked against the Jazz because the Jazz just have the one big, and then they throw it around the same way the Bulls do. But with a team like the Knicks, where we are well versed on all positions, I don't know how they're gonna figure it out. When they play the Bucks, like, how are they gonna figure it out against the Bucks? Like, you know, that's what I want to see. But yeah, Patrick Williams is gonna be a big hit for them. There's gonna be a trade coming. They're gonna make a trade so they can get another big or a 4 that can fill up that spot. Yeah, but yeah, I'm looking at the Bulls. I'm with Nick on the Hornets. I like the Hornets. They got, you know, some of my favorite players on there. Still upset that Bouknight hasn't played yet, but I get it. But they're too young, man. We saw against the Heat, gave them a class yesterday or the day before. They showed them, like, yo, like, you all looking good right now, but this is how NBA basketball is played, because the defense was incredible, and they let them know how it goes. So we'll see how the Hornets.
It's a man's world.
Yeah, right, because they like we've been saying, it's an AAU squad over there, but they played against a real man team in the Miami Heat. But yeah, and that's my last one, is the Miami Heat. My Miami Heat prediction looking pretty good. I had the Miami Heat third in my ending standings. I'm looking pretty good about that. I'm telling you, the Heat, they looking to play this year, bro. They got a well-rounded team. That Kyle Lowry thing is underrated. I hate him. I'm not a fan of him, but I got to give some credit to Tyler Hero. He's playing really well this year. Taking that next step. Got to give him credit for that. But we'll see what happens next. Now let's talk about the East, the Western Conference. And yeah, I don't have to talk about... Oh, you know who I do want to talk about before we go on the Western Conference? Let's talk about the Boston Celtics, shall we? Let's talk about the Boston Celtics. I got killed in my last show, or 2 shows ago, because I was talking about Jason Tatum. And then, after getting brutally murdered by my own chat, by people that I thought believed in myself and our squad. Well, I take that back. I'm going to corner myself, because I even have my 2 cohorts to exactly quote Nick. Man, I don't know if I can go with that one, because, you know, Jason Tatum, my guy. But look, man, I love Jason Tatum. I'm not saying he's going to be trash this season. I just want to see him take that next step, knowing that the team is not what it was in the past. Can he carry this team? Well, can he? I don't know. They're 2-4 right now. There's a lot of problems going on with that team. I think they got to trade one of the two between him or my boy Team Mac protege Brown.
Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen Brown. Some's got it mixed up, because it's just not working out. Of any of those teams in the East right now, they're the ones I'm looking at where the ship is a little is going. They in some high waters right now. I almost forgot to talk about y'all, Boston. 2-4. Y'all sitting in between. You're in a Cavaliers and Pistons sandwich. Nah, it probably won't last. But look, man. I'm just
You're almost
saying,
as green as your background right now, bro.
Yeah, I'm mad because y'all came at me like, you crazy. Jason Tatum did that. Jason Tatum did that. Okay, well, Jason Tatum didn't do nothing so far. I mean, he did have that one good game, but then what? Shout out to R.J. Barrett, put that man in prison. Anyways, we go to the Western Conference. Y'all had me hot, man. Y'all turned on me like y'all could have been like, okay. No, but okay. Nah, y'all said, you crazy. Anyways, Western Conference. Let me stop. Let me stop. We go to the Western Conference here, and it's a bit. This is interesting because y'all know at the Western Conference, your Clippers and your Lakers are sitting in this Western Conference and not in seeds that you're expecting. We got the Golden State Warriors. Shout out to BOT. Shout out to BOT because this man in the chat said that we are underrating those damn Warriors, and he was not.
He said y'all were underrating the Warriors. He said you two.
Where do you have?
He said you two.
Look,
I remember I messed up.
The only thing that you are right about so far is this Steph Curry thing. You are on point with that one. I gotta give you. And that's the thing. I was just about to give you credit.
And I got flamed out for that too.
You sure did, and that's why I was gonna give you credit. I'm like, Nick been on. He been on about that. But we'll talk about that in a second. I'm gonna give you the floor. I know you're gonna rub that in our face. So yeah, we got number 1 with the Warriors. Number 2 with the Jazz. Number 3 with the Nuggets. Number 4 with the Mavericks. The Kristaps Porzingis list Mavericks. Number 5, the Portland Trailblazers. Shout out to Chauncey. Number 6, Minnesota T-Wolves. I've been watching their games. They've actually been fun to watch. Los Angeles Lakers at 7. Memphis Grizzlies at 8. Now, key teams that are not in the playoff hunt. I'm looking at the Phoenix Suns, LA Clippers, and that's about it because Brandon's the only one that believes in the Kings. So go to the Dreamer. The floor is yours. You have so many things to talk about, from your Clippers not being up there, from your MVP choice, Steph Curry, running the squad. What are your surprises? Who do you think is going to stay? Who do you think is going to go? What you just talk about the Western Conference so far? What you thinking?
Man. Well, for the West, Warriors. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna stand by it again. I think the Warriors are doing exactly what they're going to do for the rest of the season, and it's only gonna get better when Klay comes back in December too.
Rest of the season?
Damn right, the rest of the season they're gonna have the same.
Rest of the season?
Be warned, they went 73-9, and who on this roster do they have that they didn't have that season?
They old now, man.
How old is old? I was about to say, how old is old?
They've been impressing me with. I'm sorry, I didn't want to take your shot, but they've been mixing it up really well with their youth as well as their
Jordan Poole. Weissman's not playing.
Shout out Jordan Poole. He's been playing well.
I mean, we gonna see. Jazz are like, I don't know why, like every season they do like really well, and I'm like not expecting it still for some reason. Like every year, I'm just not thinking it's gonna happen, and then I look at the standings and the Jazz have lost one game.
Come on,
I'm like, that's what I'm saying. I guess it's shocking to me, but anyway, Nuggets. I think the Nuggets are going to stay right in that 3-4 spot towards the end of the season, probably. The Mavericks. I guess the beef with Luka and Rick Carlisle was a lot deeper than we knew, because the fact that this team is 4-2 right now without Porzingis. That's not saying much. I mean, it's not saying much, but I guess it's still kind of helpful. I guess.
I didn't say it. They said it.
I guess.
You were thinking of it.
I didn't say nothing. Y'all go continue. I said nothing.
Timberwolves?
Talk to them.
And
seriously. What the hell's wrong with them, man?
I'm
tired of being ass?
I guess. They just got over it or something. Timberwolves, I mean, I don't think they're gonna be there, but if they want to keep this up, then I mean, your world go crazy, I guess. Lakers, this ain't gonna last. It's just not. Y'all a bunch of old guys getting back in action. Like obviously, it's just gonna take a little bit, and then end of the season they'll be 3-2. The Lakers gonna be fine. The Suns, I also do not see staying this low. Chris Paul's having not the best start to his season. Like I just don't see that happening. Even though he had a crazy first game, didn't he?
Who? I didn't hear the name.
Chris Paul. Game against
Chris
the
Paul.
Lakers.
Yeah, I was about to say just the Lakers game.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize. Word. All right. And the Clippers, I'm hoping we can figure something out. But if we are in the play-in situation, I can see that happening too. And the rest of it, unless Zion comes back and decides to be the Messiah himself, The Pelicans are going to stay down there. And Josh Giddey, my boy, have fun at the bottom of the standings and with the Thunder. And the Rockets, Jalen and Josh Christopher, one day, but not today. And that's all I got to say about this.
So you're saying they are where they're supposed to be. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, the bottom, that's all I can really go for with that.
Okay. B-War, Western Conference, West Coast, your Lakers. They're a little low. How you feeling?
I'm. There's no need for me to talk about them because if y'all pay attention on Twitter, I talk enough about them. Anyways, my two teams that I've noted that I'm just like, whoa, is the Warriors and the Kings. The Warriors, who would have thought, right? Being 5-1, top of the West. I definitely thought the Jazz would be holding that spot right now, just like they did last season. Kudos to Steph Curry, by the way, except for that one game where they lost and he scored only 3 points in the fourth quarter. But it's fine. It's no big deal. Kings fine. In particular. Harrison Barnes is playing out of his mind right now. Who decided? Is it contract year for him? That's what it is, isn't it? It's contract year.
I think he has a whole other year. I think he had 2 years left because they re-upped him. I could be wrong. Someone fact check me. But I think he has one more year.
I have a feeling that it is contract year, so he might just be playing out of his mind right now. I saw a stat. There was at one point where he was averaging 35 points per game, and I was like, "What? When? In what world are we watching Spider-Man in like No Way Home right now? Are we alternate universe?"
Yeah.
So I definitely don't foresee the Kings. I still feel like they're going to be battling. They're 3-2. They're right in that mix right now. So, yeah, the Warriors are. I'm shocked. I thought Kuminga and Moody would be a little bit of a hindrance, but they've come out and they played well in their minutes. I know Kuminga. It was first game yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, first game yesterday.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
It was okay. He came in there, did what he had to do, and he was fine. They still played solid. So, Thunder and Pelicans, y'all looking all right, man. Keep doing your thing. Sit tight on that
don't
one.
Don't you put the Pelicans in the same line as the Thunder? I know the Thunder not winning, but at least the Thunder have a lot of nice little pieces that are going to get traded for draft picks at some point. Pelicans, I don't know what the Pelicans are doing.
That team is going to be bad. Like it's gonna be bad. Bi, do what you can, man, to get up out of there, bro.
That's why I said.
Get up out of there. Same thing with you, Zion. Do what you can, bro.
Yeah.
Gotta go.
They
gotta go.
Time to get out of here.
Yeah. Also, I fact checked that Harrison Barnes got 2 years left.
So this year and next year.
Yeah.
So see, that's what I thought. So
player option or team option or just.
I'm pretty sure it's a play option. Check real quick.
Might be because it's the vet, yeah. And I'm going to keep mine quick because we got to get out of here in honor of Mr. Coda Jimmy. You got somewhere to go. I'm going to keep mine brief. I will say the same way that I did not give respect to the Bulls, I have to give some love to the Warriors because, yes, I figured the Warriors were going to have a nice start, but not a 5-1 nice start. The combination of all the guys that they have right now is actually working out way better than I expected him to. Jordan Poole, I did not think that his play in the preseason was going to carry over the way that it has. He's been a nice a nice role player to help out Steph Curry in a lot of different spots. Draymond Green has been playing his role perfectly. I know he's not going to give you the points like that, but my man's getting 7, 12, 3, 4, 2, 1, and you can figure out whichever stat is what, because Draymond Green going to give it to you like that. Yeah, you know, the assortment of guys that they got going on there. I'm waiting for Andrew Wiggins to be consistent. I feel like I've been waiting for years, so I guess I should keep waiting, or maybe I don't know. But the point of the matter is that the way that they're meshing their younger guys with their older pieces, it's been working. Do they stay up top? I think there's a chance because for them to have what they have right now and then incorporating the younger guys and Kuminga finally playing and Moody who's been figuring it out and they have Clay in the wings. I think they could be in that top 4. And will they be 1? I don't know. But will they be in that top 4? I think it's very possible. I'm never going to sleep on a Steph Curry team. Their biggest problem has been health. And for the first time in a long time, they're looking like they're about to be healthy with James Wiseman in the wings. I think they're going to be fun. So I'm going to give respect to them. And other team that I want to point out to in the Western Conference was the Suns. It's a very disappointing start to the season for them. I expected it to not be as magical as last year, but not to this degree. I thought that they would at least be within the top. And mind you, I know it's really early. But still, man, they 2-4. What their start even look like? I know the Lakers was a tough team, but other than them, what teams did they play to start off with that got them at 2-4? They might have
Denver.
Okay.
It was Denver, Lakers, Portland, Sacramento, and Cleveland.
Also, so they had a pretty rough schedule. I mean, that should have been a 3-3 schedule, maybe a 4-2 schedule, but. Sure. Yeah, to go 2-4 is a little weird, but it's early. They can catch heat later on. Anything's possible with that team. But yeah, they're one I'm circling, and got to give the Grizzlies some love. I still think that they're just one piece away to help out John Morant from being one of those teams I can actually take seriously. But the Grizzlies have been playing well. He put up a good fight against your Lakers. B, I know you don't want to talk about that, but he played really out of his mind. He's playing an MVP caliber type of season to start off. I think he's probably going to be a change for some of us for MIP come the mid-year. But he's having a tremendous season so far. And then I'm looking at the T-Wolves. Will it last? I don't think so. I don't know. But here's the reason why I don't think so. Because I'm banking on if to say that this is going to last is banking that Cat is going to stay healthy, banking that D'Angelo Russell is going to stay healthy, and banking on that fill in the blank is going to stay healthy. That's the problem with the T-Wolves. They've never all been healthy at the same time. Anthony Edwards is playing out of his mind. He's a perfect piece to put next to Karl Anthony Towns. I question the combination of him and D'Angelo Russell. It's actually fun to watch, but how will they stay healthy long term? That's going to be yet to be seen. But they played some tough teams to start off the season. They just lost a tough one to the Nuggets last night. But T-Wolves it's been a breath of fresh air in Minnesota to start off this season. I'm happy for Cat. I'm not gonna say happy for them. Happy for Cat because he's had a rough start to his career playing for an organization that is disgruntled as all hell. And it seemed like they got to figure it out. Huh? Future Nick, I ain't gonna put those words out there because the Knicks right now are doing just fine. I ain't gonna shake nothing up. But Cat, if you want to, you know what I'm talking about. How that contract?
Knicks Nation, rile something up, rile up a cage, y'all.
Nah, see, stop it. We over here bing bonging from now till tomorrow. Leave us alone. We doing our thing, bro. Leave us alone. But yeah, man, I want to hear what you guys are. Do you lack faith in Memphis? I don't lack faith in them. I just don't. I still think they're a piece away. I think John needs a running mate, and who's that running mate going to be consistently? I love Triple J has been playing tremendously this season, but is that going to stay consistent? If it does, then shut me up. Cool, then I think you got it. But I would love to give Ja a wing. What if B.I. What if B.I. got traded over there? Wouldn't that be crazy? B.I. on that team, that'd be nuts. Like I want to see Ja get that wing player to play with them, but we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. But yeah, man. Let me know what you guys are thinking in the chat. If you're listening to the audio only version, come over to the channel and comment under episode 3 your thoughts on whatever we talked about in today's episode. Yes, today's episode is short, but we'll be back to our normal schedule next week. We have a fun segment that we were supposed to do today, but we'll do next week. Coda, we're looking at you. If you ain't know what it is, stick around to next week's episode. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell. Listen to the audio only version. You guys have any final words before we get out of here? Because we got to get Coda out of here. You guys have any final words?
Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, please. Our goal is to get 1,000 by the end of the season. So if we can succeed that, please, let's do it, y'all. Let's do it.
What he said.
All right. Well, I'll say it for them because they both being humble gods. Subscribe to their channels. The links are in the description below, as always. So make sure you go check them out. You know, my links for my channel as well. But yeah, man, we're out of here. We'll be back into the groove of things. Longer episode next week. Appreciate the chat for coming through here. We had as many as 12 for a brand new channel. 12 people at once of our 40 subscribed channel. Y'all real, man. Coast to coast vibes. Y'all be blessed. We'll see you guys in the next one. We're out of here. And bye.
Bye. Bye.